Hangatkan hatimu, berikan energi di dalam semangatmu. Tegaklah berdiri, terbanglah kau tinggi.
AIS Play ความบันเทิงระดับโลกทุกที่ทุกเวลา
ส่งต่อความมั่นใจสู้ไปด้วยกันนะครับ
Final. Steve Rebellion alongside Liz Chetkovich, and it's an unusual format in some ways today, Liz, but lots to look forward to.
Yes, it is a little bit unusual. Normally on a day one, if you're going to have a result, it would be the team event, but for these particular championships, this is the qualification for team and the apparatus finals, and the all-around final on day one should be quite interesting.
China leading the way into the arena, and it's hard to go past them for favouritism in a number of events, not least of all the all-around and team.
Yes, they've totally dominated the all-around competition at these championships of recent years. Of course, we've had some very good performances from the Japanese men as well. I'm not so sure they've brought their best team, but we'll see how they go during the competition.
So in this first subdivision, this first session, China, Thailand, Republic of Korea, Chinese Taipei, Democratic People's Republic of Korea, Kyrgyzstan and Mongolia have single athletes, but those 5 other nations that I mentioned are all looking to qualify for the team final. And not every individual taking part this afternoon is necessarily in the individual all-around. Some are specialists. They won't all do all 6.
No, there will be a variety of performances today. Some athletes will come in as individuals and only perform a couple of apparatus, maybe 1 or 2. Some will be performing for their team and, as you said, do all 6, and some will do just a couple of apparatus. The team format is going to be 5 gymnasts in a team, 4 on each apparatus can perform with the best 3 scores to count. That's how they'll qualify.
Sometimes abbreviated to 5, 4 and 3.
Yes, we'll do it like that, I think.
Yeah. So these are the nations and the apparatus they'll be performing on. So we have Thailand on floor, Chinese Taipei on pommels. That mixed group of 2 athletes are on rings. DPRK on vault. There's the lineup for Thailand, and as Liz has explained, 4 will go up and 3 scores to count. Raman Pak and Intulka Altansuk from Kyrgyzstan and Mongolia will be a little bit lonely out there today as they make their way around the competition, but the other teams have each other for company.
Star-studded team from China.
So the athletes traditionally greet the judges, and there'll be a short warm-up period for the athletes to get a touch. And we always stress, Liz, at these events that the warm-up hall conditions really quite different to the podium here in the main arena. Very important that the athletes have the opportunity in the days leading up to and indeed just before competition.
Yes, each of the teams has had a session on the podium. Here the podium's just over a metre high, so it has a different feel to it than the gym out the back. Very rarely you get a podium in a warm-up hall. So it just has a different timing on the apparatus, in particular the high bar, the floor and the vault.
Lighting and humidity, even those aspects are important.
Yes, the orientation is incredibly important. Of course, all of the visual cues that the gymnasts look for, they need to accustom themselves to those as well. And the standard landing mats, there's no crash mats in the competition hall. So it's a little bit different for them, and they do really need this time to get the feel of it. They won't do a full routine. Most of them will just jump up and do their major skills or a timer for their major skill, just to get the feel of things.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is the all-around men's competition, which we
So there's the lineup for Republic of Korea on high bar. China mentioned with a very strong team that they've brought here, and it's likely they'll do very well today. They're starting on parallel bars.
I'm excited to see the parallel bars for China. You can see the star performer getting ready to go.
Yeah, Xiao Rutang has missed Rio through injury, but he's won a lot since.
Yes, that just seems to have bottomless depth in China.
So these are nervous moments. The athletes have been looking forward to this competition for some time, the days of training, a couple of sessions in here at the main arena. Now there's a crowd in, there's noise, there are judges, and everybody's suited up and ready.
Looking forward to see some spectacular vaulting. The Asian nations are pretty much all known for their powerful vaulting.
Yeah, DPR Korea, Vietnam, very strong on this apparatus.
Yes, it's a very exciting event to watch.
All four athletes from Thailand. We'll see 4 exercises here.
So we'll have a lot going on at once here. There'll be noise as the crowd appreciates a performance on one apparatus while we might be watching another. And that's the nature of artistic gymnastics. Several things going on at once.
Crowd is filling up a little bit. It was a bit sparse a few minutes ago, but we can see plenty of people coming in now.
So we're going across, first of all, to the vault. And Jong Ryong Il. And until he gets the green light there, he won't be going. He'll step onto the 25-metre runway and attack the vault. So now he's right to go.
Big vault coming up. Difficulty 4.8, as you can see there. Vault 274, which is the Sukahara double. Half on, double twist off. Clean enough, lands a little close to the horse.
Yes, he didn't get a lot of distance in the post flight. He just lacked a little momentum off the vault. And on rings, we have the mixed group. So this is Roman Pak of Kyrgyzstan, 18-year-old student.
First major competition.
And all 4 exercise of Alawin Wotong representing Thailand.
Very smooth, but a difficulty. He's supposed to go into his cross, but he's made an error there. Get through to his L hang, looking a little bit shaky here. Rings picking up somewhat of a swing. Dismount's got to travel backwards badly. Yes, it very, very hard routine for him to control. Just didn't quite get onto it.
Yes, and the athletes in their late teens just not strong enough with the stamina on rings to really master the longer routines.
And here we can see he started off with looked like a Yamawaki, but he went into a pike, and then all we can't see, he's just missed his cross from there all the way through. He looks like he's just struggling to hold his strength elements for long enough, and the dismount releases at the wrong time and backwards to get a full point deduction for that fall.
So not the best of starts for Roman Pak. What a great opportunity, though, to come to the Asian Games as an 18-year-old, be one of the youngest in the field. The session will take on its own rhythm as the scores start to build. So 13-5 there for Jong Rong-il, DPR Korea on vaults. And let's see where we're heading next. Perhaps across to high bar. And Kim Han-sul is next to go. He keeps his eye on the scoreboard to see when the green light comes up. He doesn't want to keep the judges waiting. Never a good idea. And Kim.
Very experienced gymnast, having competed in the 2016 Olympic Games and 3 separate World Championships. Sweeping, half out. Winding up here for his first release. Clean and high.
Representing Thailand,
1.5 from a stall to entry. First gymnast for the team, normally picked for their steadiness, and he does deliver well.
Oh, that's a great routine from Kim Han-sul of Republic of Korea.
See his kicks up high, the release movement a little flat over the bar. We're looking for great height to differentiate one gymnast from the other. And the stall to entry for 1.5 through to reverse. A full twist dismount.
So a very good vaulter, 3rd at the Worlds last year in Montreal. Look forward to seeing him when he gets across to that apparatus. And we go there now for DPR Korea.
See Risei Wang coming up here, doing the vault named for him. Double pike front, half out. Pretty good. Wow. Now that carries an amazing difficulty of 6 points.
They're just absolutely fearless on the vault, and coach and teammates are happy with this effort.
He has 2 vaults named after him, the Risei Wang and the Risei Wang 2.
The score in for Roman Pak, just a modest one, as we saw the difficulties he was having on rings. And a 13 even for Kim Han-sul on high bar.
See a second vault here because he's working towards qualification for finals. Let's look at this double pike, a little bit tucked out and just a bit short on the twist really, Steve.
Very powerfully built across the shoulders, isn't he? Manages, does he, to keep it in the channel? Oh no, his toes drifted outside the line.
Yeah.
So
that's a line ball call. You know, he really was quite tucked in the second salto. Judges will have to work out whether they're going to give him full value for that. They probably will, but he'll get rather a large deduction, I should imagine. Waiting to see what score comes up for him. 2 vaults, of course, will be average to get his score for qualification score for apparatus finals on this one.
the athletes get used to these little delays, and it does always reach a point though where they just wish they could get going. All right, we have a 14-2.
Only 5-6 difficulty, so they didn't award him the full 6 for that.
All right.
They gave it to him in a tucked evaluation. So I think that's correct too, because it could really say that second salto was piped. All right, this is a pretty tough vault, this one. Going for a double tuck backwards, a Sukahara double tuck with a full twist. And this is the Risegwang 1. Tough vault. Hands down, I think.
Yes, he's not so happy with that second vault.
Not his best day.
No.
33 years of age. He looks like a spring chicken.
We'll go across, have a look at parallel bars, and Xiao Ruteng. We've been waiting for the appearance of this man on this apparatus, and let's see what kind of form he's in. Can he dominate the competition?
Well, any number of the gymnasts from China could do well on this apparatus. Smooth in his double tuck to upper arm and heely turn. Short in that element. This looks like he's using a bit of muscle there. Very high on that front salto straddled.
Beautiful amplitude. So steady.
Great landing.
Yeah, and the dismount is all good. So an impressive beginning from Xiao Ruteng. Ninth on parallel bars at the World Championships last year, and there is the average of the two scores in now for Risegwang, 14.025.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if he makes it through to vault finals. It's going to be tough. Some good vaulting nations here. There's the double tuck to upper arm. And this one's from a long swing. So a different entry into the same skill, which is allowed. Look at the height. Beautifully performed.
One more exercise on 4.
And to impress the judges, not a movement on landing. There's a little bit of an adjustment available on P-bars for athletes of a wider build. And the whole team gets to work on chalking up the bars.
Well, I'm sure we'll get to see this next routine from the current or the reigning world champion on this apparatus, and it's a routine that I've been watching, hoping to see. 1-5, that last routine.
Zhu Jingyuan
Puts himself in first position.
won parallel bars at the Worlds with a 15.9, so let's see if he can get near that.
Yeah, well, he's recently scored 16 points, so that's what makes me so much looking forward to seeing this routine. He has a combination, obviously, of perfect execution. Some of the judges say that, you know, they can hardly even find a 0.2 or a 0.3 to take from him. Let's hope he's in fine form today. I think he's had a little bit of a sore tricep from what I could tell in podium training, but let's hope that doesn't affect him.
That's on the right side there. There's a little bit of a strapping high up.
Yeah.
On the right upper arm.
Hopefully we're in for the treat that we're expecting.
He's certainly taking his time with the preparation, and the green light is there for him. He'll want to go soon.
He's got 22 seconds left.
All right.
On the shot clock. Here he goes.
Zhu Jingyuan, world champion.
Flawless. Oh. Everything is done to the nth degree. And he's using pure swing, no muscle at all. Beautiful through to the swing out of the front summy straddle. Amplitude is to die for. The judges must have put their pens down by now. There's just nothing to take off. Dismount, can he stick it? And he does.
My goodness, what a standard set by Zhu Jingyuan.
Extraordinary ability on this apparatus, and just a joy to watch.
Yeah, and it's just takes your breath away.
The height above the bar.
It makes it look easy, which the champions do, even though we know how difficult it is.
And here we see the front somersault, but he swings out of it.
The fluency disguises the great strength needed.
And this dismount, the height there, knees glued together, perfect orientation.
I'm not sure I've seen anyone better on parallel bars than this man, Zhu Jingyuan.
I'm looking forward to having a look what that execution score is. Of course, 10 points to play with.
That right shoulder is a bit sore. He's wincing as he put it through the sleeve.
Well, he's not going to let an opportunity like this go by him. Big event, of course, the Asian Games, only being every 4th year.
So there's the total on vault for DPR Korea. They only sent the 3 up on vault. Only 3 scores need to count, but they didn't have the opportunity to discard one. But that's okay in this case. There's no damage done there. But only one of their vaulters choosing to do 2 vaults in hopes of qualifying for the vault final. 39.8 for the Republic of Korea on high bar, their early total. China.
Execution 9-4. Wow.
16 even.
16 even, but I looking at the execution, I know I'm not a judge, but I would have looked at it and thought, where can they find 0.6 in that?
Yeah. The Republic of China off to a flyer.
Please prepare for rotation number 2.
660 score.
So we move on to our second rotation. If you're not too familiar with the terminology and the process in artistic gymnastics, we'll try to join the dots for you, but as they each finish one apparatus, I'll move on to the next, get a brief warm-up, and each of these stages is called a rotation. Let's have a look at some of the action that happened during that first rotation as we go to pommels. Li Chi Kai, Chinese Taipei.
Showing flares with turns, spindle. Quite a great sequence at the start there. Doing a lot of his work in flare position. Obviously, it comes naturally to him, even his travels. It's unusual to see so many elements in straddle position, but wow, 15.05, that's a very good execution, 9.05.
I think we might see him in the pommels final, and look forward to seeing that again. So China, the leaders in team qualification standings after the first rotation. Quite a margin too.
Particularly on parallel bars, normally vaulting will have a little bit of an edge because it's easier to score higher on vaulting than parallel bars.
And Zhu, courtesy of that outstanding performance on P-bars, is the early leader in the all-around. Some of the athletes will drop off those all-around standings as it becomes clear that they're not going to do all 6. You need to be something of an Iron Man.
Well, generally in a team of 5, depending on how many specialists they have, they would probably have 2 all-arounders and 3 specialists to try and cover all the apparatus to get their best 3 scores on each.
So in this second rotation, it's Republic of Korea on floor. Thailand move across to pommels. Be led away by Anuin Photong. on rings this time, beating Chinese Taipei.
Thailand on pommel horse, Chinese Taipei on ring, on pole with
2 athletes from mixed group will be at the vaults, Mongolia and Kyrgyzstan.
high bar is China.
Parallel bars for DPR Korea. And that leaves China, of course, who are gearing up for a high bar. Gang Shudi will be first up, followed by Xiao. And Zhu Jingyuan is not scheduled to compete on high bar, so he's not an all-around contender.
No, he's not. He normally will do pommel horse as well. Occasionally rings. I don't think he's doing rings now. Probably the sore shoulder. I'll be able to see if he's on rings in the start list here. No, he's not doing rings, so I think he's just going to do 2 events today. His 2 best.
As these athletes learn to compete and cope with pain. The trick is trying to not let it show.
Well, that's right. It's always a fine line between preparing strongly enough for an event and then overdoing it as well. Sometimes an athlete will compete through some niggles or a bit of pain because they've done all that preparation and obviously they want to put it to good use.
All right, ready for the start of the second rotation. Atlansuk at the top of the vault runway. 20-year-old from Ulaanbaatar. We don't know too much about this Mongolian athlete. He did compete at the 2015 Summer Universiade.
He's fairly young when it comes to men's gymnastics. He's relatively tall, quite a nice build for gymnastics. Double twist there. The judges will be looking for trying to see them complete the twist well in time before the landing. So stretch out before the landing.
He lost his alignment there. He's landed outside the desired area, so there's a deduction coming.
And we can see he really only just gets the twist around at the end, so he's going to lose for not completing a twist early enough and also low shoulders. So going to get a fairly modest execution score or E score for that.
Tougher for the taller gymnasts to get through those rotations too.
It is definitely on vault. Of course, they have an advantage on parallels and high bar, parallel bars, high bar, and pommel horse. He's probably built better for those apparatus.
He's going to do a second vault. First of 3 sessions on this opening day of artistic gymnastics.
China, he was a finalist at the Rio Olympics 2 years ago, all-around finalist.
13-1, 0.3 penalty there.
Yeah, for going outside the tram lines. And both feet were out.
Still call them tram lines if they're not parallel? I guess we can.
Well, it depends where the tram's going.
Scores in, we shouldn't have to wait too much longer for the second vault for Atlansuk.
Here's a repeat there.
So the deduction is right there as he steps outside the lines. It's a penalty rather than a deduction, I suppose, is more accurate.
It is considered not part of the penalty from the execution score. It's a separate penalty.
That's my score of the Chinese athletes.
Well, now we get the green light.
Of course, they have to choose a different element group. This is handspring front somersault piked, a relatively modest difficulty vault, but it's good to see him going for the apparatus finals regardless.
So the second vault from Altan Suk of Mongolia. This did not really control the landing, too much forward momentum.
Would be most unlikely for him to qualify for vault finals, but sometimes the athletes just need to get the practice of trying two different vaults, and he's probably got something he's working on in training gym at home, ready for his next upgrade. As the pike somersault opens it out a bit, but weak on the legs on the landing.
Nice leg form through the air. That left knee all but touched the mat though.
Yeah.
Very deep on the landing. And carried him forward.
36. First score on floor in the second rotation for Lee.
So we can come across to floor where the Republic of Korea is working. And Lee Ja-sung.
Worker came fifth on floor at the 27 Asian Championships in Bangkok. So we know he's got some good quality. Whoa, that was bad.
Oh, his head,
unfortunately.
Yeah, his head touched the floor nearly the same time as his feet.
Yeah, double front pike half out. It's a tough skill. And he's in trouble controlling the second line. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a little bit dazed from that first one. Very hard to get your rhythm after you've had a fall such as that. Getting better as the routine goes on.
Got me packing the twists in.
I've seen quite a lot more twisting in floor. The rollout skills, of course, which were previously allowed up until the 2016 Olympic Games, are no longer able to be performed. So in their place, we seem to be getting more twisting lines.
A chime on 60 seconds, so another 10 allowed for him to finish. And there we have it.
Well, he certainly toughed it out.
It's got a significant strapping on the right ankle.
Well, he won't get credit for that first element because he didn't perform it well enough.
12.225 combined score there for Altan Suk of Mongolia. Well, the good news out of that floor routine was that he wasn't injured. Lee Ja-sung really, with a serious neck injury. Lin Xiaopan across at high bar where China are performing, and he's next to go.
Well, he's a very good performer on high bar. Let's see what he offers us today. Big swing here. Nice Cassina, full twisting double layout over the bar. This time in tuck position, really looks in control. Nice stretch Kachev with a half turn out. Right on top of the bar there, through to the Yamawaki. He's got great variety in this routine.
Oh, Lin Xiaopan, they've come to compete, and he's given us another encouraging performance. 3 firsts at the Asian Championships last year, including this apparatus, so he's in good form at 22. I just love the sound we're picking up of the vibrating bar to give you an idea of the power being generated. A 12-1 there for Lee Ja-sung on floor.
We're seeing a very experienced team from China. Here's the full twist over the bar in stretch position. This time in tuck position, you can see he can spot the bar very easily as he catches. Means he's completed his twist well on time.
That release out of a mixed grip then.
I thought he was going to stick this dismount and thought he had it, and then at the last minute just a little shuffle backwards, just a tenth for that mistake.
So Lin Xiaopan packs the bag, gets ready for the next rotation. They'll move across the floor, China. But they're building nicely through the early stages of this first session. There won't be much doubt about China qualifying for the team final. Out of their team, our all-around champion today. That's what we're looking for out of today's opening 3 sessions of competition. Find the all-around winner. Normally that's held on another day as a separate competition, but not here in Jakarta in 2018. And a 14-4-5. A couple of scores there that you keep on top of there. It's the progressive all-around score and the individual score for the apparatus.
6.2 difficulty score, which is the second highest we've seen on high bar so far.
So we still on high bar have Sun Wei to come.
He's been competing a lot of all-around competitions at the various World Cup events.
Do you think that means he's their hope here?
I would imagine they have a couple of contenders, but I'd be surprised if he's not doing every apparatus here. There's a fairly evenly ability across all apparatus. Very nice straight cut, Chev, straight into a straddle half, sorry. This time stretched with a half turn, so all the different varieties of the Kachev.
Sunway, a small hop-on landing, but another classy routine from China. He's got a very interesting technique with he swings around the bar when he's about to do a release. He almost seems to give the bar an extra push to generate some power off it. And we'll go to rings, where Chinese Taipei are competing.
China's
and Chen Chiyu.
This is one of his best apparatus, if not his best. He's been a finalist at World Championship level, countless events where he's been in finals on this apparatus. In fact, his nickname's the Prince of Flying Rings. And here you see a beautifully positioned planche position to start. Maltese position, legs slightly low, but he does hold it well.
So he's at his 3rd Asian Games, Chen.
Lucky Jonasson combination straight into the Maltese, and he holds it well. Bounced across, he's showing his superior strength on this apparatus.
Going to World Championships since 2009.
Good landing.
You see the experience he brings to bear. He won a bronze medal at Asian Games not 4 years ago, but 8 years ago in Guangzhou.
Yes, he's been a great campaigner, 29 years of age.
As the high bar score in for Sunway, 14.5.
Yeah, that's the second highest high bar score so far. Here we see it gets good height above the rings. It's smooth, no jerky action at the bottom of the bar.
Waiting for two scores on floor and on rings.
Great overhead there. And probably that dismounts the least well-performed element of his routine. Some great rings talent here from all the different nations, so he'll have to score well to get a place in the finals. Only 8 gymnasts, maximum 2 per country.
So China's still leading after 2 rotations now, 89.75 their progressive team total. Republic of Korea 80.95, having been on rings and floor. Still waiting for the score to come in for Chen, Chinese Taipei.
That routine must have given his shoulders a decent workout.
The years and years of training and competition, I don't know what it does to their shoulders, but there we are, a 14.65.
It's a very good score.
Chinese Taipei actually in second position after 2 rotations. Ahead of the Republic of Korea, but trailing China. And on they go.
Moving along fairly briskly.
Yeah.
You can see the gymnasts from China are clearly in a class of their own.
This was Tapong Adwong of Thailand's on pommels during that second rotation. A 20-year-old. Competed at the World Championships last year.
Holding it together well. Now the legs are drooping a little bit below the horse. Using strength to get into his handstand, but he'll be pretty pleased that he stayed on for an 11.55.
China making their way around to the floor where they're enjoying a lead of just over 6 points from Chinese Taipei, then Republic of Korea, DPR Korea and Thailand in the team competition. 8 teams will go to the final. Now the all-around standings, and China 1, 2, 3.
Gentlemen, time for your warm-up.
Of course, Japan to appear in a later subdivision. We'll be looking forward to their performances, but perhaps they've not brought their very strongest team, a couple of their stars at home. That's the starting order for China on floor. Deng Shudi to lead them off.
Mr. Mohammed Said, as Secretary General Asian Gymnastic Union.
And Republic of Korea across to pommels. Lee Jae-song will be sitting this one out.
And on for the next rotation.
You saw one of the Chinese gymnasts warming up on floor and it looked like an awkward takeoff on one of his ankles. That's no surprise.
Thailand across to the rings. Chinese Taipei on the vault, and 2 of their gymnasts will be completing 2 vaults. Well, we hope they complete them, and looking to make the vault final. They being Xiao Yujian and Lee Chin Kai. It's uneven bars for our small mixed group of Pak from Kyrgyzstan and Altansuk from Mongolia.
Each country, ladies and gentlemen, can have a maximum of 4 athletes.
And DPR Korea across on high bar.
But only 3 results count.
Getting back to the situation with the all-around final being decided on day one, it's very rare that an all-around final is decided when the gymnasts are not competing side by side. So we have them over 3 separate rotations or 3 separate subdivisions. Normally an all-around final, you'll have them all in the same place at the same time. So that is also another unusual aspect about holding it on day one.
Crowd has built a little since the start of the session. Good to see.
And of your warm-up, gentlemen. And on
Not sure which apparatus we're going to get to see first.
China, with the very first exercise of the Chinese on 4.
Vaulting.
So Shou Yu-Chan of Chinese Taipei at the top of the runway for the vault as we start this 3rd rotation, 3 of 6.
He's a relatively inexperienced gymnast, just 18 years of age. No major events to his name yet. This is the first one. He's going to attempt a handspring front with a 1.5 twist. Good. Does it well. He's determined to stick it.
Yeah. He had a Karate Kid moment there. On one leg.
Sets it up well. A little low on the twist. That leg up there might attract as much as a 0.3 deduction, just the way he's done it. What do you think, Steve? He's kept inside the line.
Yes, it looks as though he...
Oh,
and
no,
then
he didn't.
And then he didn't. That's a shame.
Yeah, 110. I didn't mean to laugh at him.
No, it's a
laughing
penalty.
at us.
Yeah, there's a penalty coming, unfortunately, for Xiao. But he's got 2 vaults, so that's significant considering his youth. Followed his older brother into the sport.
And won the bronze medal with his team China.
13.6 his first vault and a 0.1 penalty there.
All-around bronze medal winner at the World Championships in Glasgow in 2015. Then Shui for China.
2nd vault.
He's chosen a more difficult vault for his 2nd vault. Well, he does that extremely well.
Yeah, he's pleased with that. And you can hear the sound of the tracking camera along the runway. Not a distraction to the gymnasts. They've seen and heard it all before. There goes the camera in the background. He's delighted with that.
Well, you can see it's a half on and a 2.5 twist off. Need to get very good elevation from the horse to even fit in all those twists, and he does a great job of it.
Across we go to floor, and Xiao Rutang looks the part, doesn't he? He's extremely well prepared.
Well, he's our current all-around world champion. What a treat it is to see him competing here. Near flawless first line, perfect control. And same again, the landing on the 2nd line.
Hops with great precision to the corner.
With a clean double layout, that's the first landing deduction he's had in terms of his feet moving. Flares with spindled handstand back down again. Good amplitude. It's a breather before this last line. Finishing with a triple twist, slightly overturned.
So there we have it from Xiao Ruteng. All-around world champion, as Liz says, he was 11th on floor at the Worlds in Montreal.
Yes, it's not his very best apparatus, but the all-arounders, they'll just not have a weaker apparatus. So I think you can find he can hold his own, but he won't specialise.
So the scores in on vaults for Xiao Yujian.
Double twist forwards, full twist forwards. Very nice control. Have to have all your angles right on takeoff to get those types of landings. And flares that out as he comes into the floor. One of the few gymnasts who we're not seeing doing a handstand. I think it's kind of refreshing not to see that wide arm handstand on everybody.
They make those flares look so easy. It's like they're almost having a rest while they do that. And I think if you were Xiao Ruteng's hairdresser, you'd want to get it absolutely right, because he does. It's a 14-1 for Xiao. Now we'll stay with China on floor and his teammate Lin Xiaopan.
Twist out of the front full. If they're only allowed to do each element once in a routine. So we're seeing a few errors on the landings. It's amazing how they all add up throughout the course of a routine. Here we need to see the head very close to the floor, maybe just a couple of centimetres away in order not to get a deduction. I think his hairdo deceives us a little there. Give him some leeway.
There's no penalty for your hair touching the floor.
Just inside the time allotment. In fact, I think he's a second out.
Yes, 1:11 has come up on the clock and they're allowed 70 seconds, so we'll see whether that hurts him. But another good routine, if not perfect, from Lin Xiaopan.
Execution not as good as his teammate, but difficulty level may be a little higher. We'll wait and see what the judges award it.
Han Jong-hyuk, as we've got DPR Korea on high bar. He's the third and final competitor on high bar. Again, they're only sending up 3. Got to make all 3 count, so they don't want any falls.
Pretty high. Kovacs, just tucked position, stretched. Kachev. This time with a half turn. Swing looks a little forced. And the encouragement of his teammates from the background. L grip position there. Quite a long routine. Landing up here for a double twist.
Well, the teammates like it. And that is the high bar done for DPR Korea, Han Jong-hyuk. Yes, we've seen, some athletes up on high bar, they seem to move around it a little quicker and a little more easily. It just looked occasionally forced. 14.05 for Lin Xiaopan.
6-1 difficulty.
There was a 0.1 penalty there. I assume that's for time. Sunway on the floor, but we go across to rings. And Natapong Adwong.
Struggling to find the position there in that straddle planche. And once again, the handstand line. Struggling also to get it into good alignment with the shoulders and hips. Arms bending on the way up there. Tough apparatus for tall gymnasts.
And a couple of steps on the landing there for Natapong Adwong. He was 7th on rings at the Southeast Asian Games last year in Kuala Lumpur with an 11.45.
Lose quite a lot on execution in terms of various positions he's been in. And see a bit bent arms there. This one here, hard to see from this angle, but couldn't quite get the heels high enough. Good effort, however. See a full team from Thailand.
Well, it's a growing sport in its depth and quality throughout Asia. The last 10 world titles in men's individual all-around, all been won by Asian athletes. It's staggering. And a 13.55, therefore Han Jong-hyuk on high bar for DPR Korea. So 7 of those titles won by Japan and 3 by China. World titles we're talking about. That's it's a powerhouse of the sport where we are right now in the middle of Asia.
Absolutely. Good all-around gymnasts are very hard to come by. I mean, it's very hard to train, and of course there's the attraction of just doing the apparatus that you're good on. So
Kim Han-sul next to go on pommels for the Republic of Korea.
Right, let's see. Giving away the requirements for his scissor elements early. Forwards and backwards travels being one of the requirements.
Well, that's well done. Considering it is preferred apparatus of vault and floor.
Yes, as we said before, you know, the swing apparatus, obviously the long, lean, long-armed people do much better, and he's probably more built for floor and vault and rings. He's done a good job, though. Most important that you don't use any strength on pommel horse, particularly if you're going through handstand elements. You have to swing to the handstand, not muscle it up.
Timing pretty good. So Adwong's score on rings in at 11.8. So his team is right to go. Anawan Protong.
On green is Sonoy Protong from Thailand.
Again, relatively inexperienced gymnast. He's 20 years of age. From Bangkok. Clean swing through to the Maltese. This is looking very nice to start the routine. He's strong and clean. Nice position. Of course, the 2 seconds is taken from the point at which they actually stop in that strength position. A little bit weak in his swinging part of the routine. He's picked up a bit of unwanted swing there. Wow, that's strong.
Fairly simple dismount, but the complexity can come in future years. He's only 20, so still building into this complex and demanding apparatus. Anwen Photong of Thailand.
I think what's a little bit unusual about him is he's young and his strength elements are better than his swing elements. We normally would see it the other way around with the strengths building up, and I was quite impressed by his strength elements, but he looked weaker in his handstand and swinging, and hence the dismount, not able to get a double salto going, but impressive first part of the routine in particular.
I think that was the final routine of the third rotation, so they'll be moving on shortly, and athletes ready to do that. They're the leading team at the moment, the Republic of China, with 131.3.
You can follow the ranking, ladies and gentlemen, on the big screen on your...
It's China, Chinese Taipei, and the Republic of Korea. I believe this Chinese Taipei settling in at 124.9, so they're 7 points almost behind China. And the Republic of Korea, I believe, are sitting third, another 7 points behind Chinese Taipei. So good spread of scores. DPR Korea in 4th position in the team competition with 116.3, and that would mean Thailand in 5th position, 101.4. That's what's on my screen at the moment, if it's been updated. Well, I'm still waiting for one score to come in. So.
Oh, what's interesting, of course, I know we can't compare it too much at this stage of the event, only halfway through, and some apparatus score higher than others, but Chinese Taipei being well ahead of Korea and DPR Korea, and they've never won a medal before, Chinese Taipei. So all of the team medals have been won by either China, DPR Korea, or Republic of Korea, or Japan. So only 4 countries.
Kim Han Sul's score is in pommels, 12.95. And that's actually lifted them a little closer with the inclusion of his score to Chinese Taipei. They're only 5 behind Chinese Taipei now.
Still quite a lot, isn't it? 5 in a after 3
I say only.
Yeah, but even so, it's an interesting thing.
12.7 for Photong on rings. That wraps up the 3rd rotation of 6. So halfway through the session, there's the team score for Thailand, 102.85.
Time to continue with the next rotation. Gentlemen, please proceed to your next apparatus.
Earlier on pommels, this was Park Min-soo, Republic of Korea. 23-year-old.
It's not his favorite exercise. Definitely not the favorite exercise of the
Keeping his shoulders nicely above the handles.
Doing a lot of work there, nice travels along the horse there.
Really moving it along too. Great momentum about the routine.
Rewarded with a 13.95.
So it is the People's Republic of China that lead the team qualifying from Chinese Taipei and the Republic of Korea. DPR Korea with a little bit of work to do to try to catch Republic of Korea, Thailand in fifth. China 1 and 2 in the all-around standings. Xiao and Lin, then Li Chi-kai of Chinese Taipei, Sun Wei of China. So they've got 3 in the top 4. That's not unexpected. Japan, Indonesia, India, all to come later in the day. There'll be a brief warm-up now as they get ready for the 4th rotation. DPR Korea will be on floor.
Certainly one of their stronger apparatus.
China to pommels. Look forward to seeing Zhu again. He's shown us some good stuff on P-bars. So 2 years out from Tokyo Olympics, Liz, where are these athletes up to in their preparation? They'll be trying to do anything in particular? Keep healthy and impress the selectors, eh?
Well, yes, it's a major world championship this year being held in Doha, and it's the first qualification for Olympic Games where teams have to get into the top 24 teams to be considered, and the top 3 teams this time have an automatic entry through to Tokyo Olympic Games. That's a new thing, and there are a lot of qualifications starting also for individual apparatus through the World Cup circuit, which is also a new process. So everyone's kind of a bit unsure how it's going to work. So all the countries are trying to cover all bases at the moment in terms of the teams, best teams, and also up to 2 specialists can qualify through the World Cup process.
Do you have a view about those changes, or you just wait to see how they pan out?
Yeah, well, it's a bit confusing. I think some of the issues are that if you're going to qualify through as an apparatus specialist, you can't be used for your team qualification. So, for example, Zhu on parallel bars will probably try and qualify through individual apparatus, but he then can't compete for the team. I believe at the Olympic Games he can only compete on that apparatus, so it's all a bit confusing as to how they may use their athletes. So definitely have to wait and see. If I sound confused, it's because I am.
So we have Republic of Korea with rings, and Lee Chun-ho first to go. He's 22 years of age.
Classic position, lowers down cleanly through to his cross and holds it a good 2 seconds. Flies through to another cross. You can repeat the element as long as you get into it in a different way. Arch in the back as he goes to the handstand. Swinging event, but precision is required. So the Jonathan-Yamawaki combination there. Now to bend his arms. It's a bent arm straight body press to handstand. Try to get good elevation here.
He's done a nice job, Lee Chun-ho.
Yes, good lead competitor. It's a solid routine.
He's had a top 10 all-around finish at the World Cup event in Glasgow, 2016.
You can see the perfect positioning of the shoulders in line with the bottom part of the rings. And again, here, not quite as smooth as we might like to see. Pushes the rings out wide.
The athlete's got to be careful to push the rings away so they don't get a foot caught in on the way past.
That's right.
It's happened before.
I've seen it before. I think it's generally a rookie mistake, so you don't see it at this level too much, but anything can happen.
And the rookie that made that mistake doesn't make it again.
Oh, that's
well,
right.
you hope.
Yes.
We have only 2 athletes on that apparatus in rotation 4. It's a mixed group with Mongolia and Kyrgyzstan.
Lee Jong-ho will be followed up on rings by Kim Han-sol and Lee Jae-song and Park Min-soo. So they're intending to send up 4 on rings with 3 scores to count towards the team total. We'll push over to the vault.
Two and a half twist, great landing.
That's Natapong Edwong, who's nominated 2 vaults, as has his teammate Surin Tonta.
You see the half on. And 2.5 off. Always difficult to land in that front-facing position.
So see the mat very late. So the timing's got to be just so.
This is his best apparatus.
There's a 13-5 for Lee Jong-ho on rings for the Republic of Korea. And we're looking forward to a second vault now from Natapong Aidwong. First one was very sound, a 14-3-5.
Handspring entry, 1.5 twist. Starting value for that is a 4.8. So 2 solid vaults from him.
Did compete at the World Championships on vault. 37th with a 13-1.
For Thailand, he's 20 years old.
Pops it up nicely, flares it out. Shoulders low on the landing, however. You can see he tries to open it here. And the shoulders pretty low. Maybe up to a 0.3 deduction for the shoulders there.
It's landing a little unfortunate because he hopped back and then forward. Sort of compounded a mistake, but anyway, good work nonetheless from Natapong Aidwong. He's got the 2 vaults out of the way, and we'll wait to see where that leaves him in terms of hoping to make a vault final in a few days' time. Day 2 of the artistic gymnastics. The women will go through the same process as the men with qualifying for teams. 13.6 the second vault, average 13.975. More than respectable. China is on pommels, and next to go will be Zhao Rutang. And here he goes.
Starts with a spindle on the end of the horse. Beautiful amplitude. He looks very confident. Maximum 4 elements on one pommel handle before they have to move on. A little bit of strength up to that handstand. Now we see the legs nice and high. There's a mistake there, the legs coming up and down in that movement. Point at which the arms would be burning. Hard last part. Routine. Long routine.
Well, it's not quite his best if we're to be fair. Zhao Rutang, he had a couple of problems there. And supposed to be swinging elements, but he had to use his strength a couple of times to keep it going. See how the judges view that fairly shortly. But, might be moving across to bars now. Chinese Taipei and Li Chi-kai, who's impressed us so far. Li with the upper arms protected, so there's going to be somersaults to upper arm.
Semi-pike to get him up to handstand. Into the bar element. Held up. Big swing into the straddle front. Parallel bars have certainly become evolved a lot over the last few years, and we're seeing larger swinging elements rather than all the stationary turning elements in handstand. Double front half out.
Pretty happy with that.
Dismount of Chi-kai on parallel bars, athlete from Chinese Taipei. High five with his fellow athletes and the coach.
Didn't actually do somersaults within the bars, landing on the biceps, but still had those upper arm protection bands on.
You had the front straddle, so I'm not quite sure.
All Chinese Taipei is currently in third position in that team ranking.
Competition number 155 belongs to Jong Ryong-il of DPR Korea. A little bit of a veteran at 28. DPR Korea team was 8th at the Asian Championships last year.
Starting with a single skill, a double front from run. Double front tuck. Landing very low. Both of the first lines. Single skill, doesn't look at all comfortable. And he looked surprised as he fell on that relatively simple skill. Disguises a low landing with a jump to prone. Could be this team from DPR Korea is just putting him in just for the team score. They might have stacked their team with people, specialists from other apparatus. And they don't have too many options. Can happen sometimes.
Yeah, it's just the 3 up on floor again, so the mistakes here from Jong will hurt their team score.
Big mistake there. He just didn't look like it was his apparatus today at all. Holds his head high as he walks off, however.
4 or 5 seconds left too. I wonder if he cut it a bit short. Anyway, that's to be seen. 14 in for Li Chi-kai. Looks happy to be out there competing and proud as well. I think he might be carrying an injury or two, Jong Ryong-il.
There's a double twist forward. He said it might just be they needed him to do the apparatus no matter what, and he really didn't have much height on that double front. And finishing with what he was hoping to be a 2.5 twist, but barely gets to his feet. Good effort, however, for the team.
Little shake of the head. And move on. It'll be pommels next for DPR Korea.
Great shots of
Now 13-2 for Xiao Ruteng. Second position at the moment in the all-around standing, so we will crown an all-around champion at the end of today's 3 sessions.
The judges were very tough on him for those indiscretions with the movements up into handstand.
Some way now.
That's done nicely. Nice flare with the arm as he moves from one element to the other. Beautiful work there. Holding perfect form. He's still looking strong at the end of the routine. Great dismount. That's an excellent routine.
Well, Sun Wei put himself back up into contention in this all-around competition. Lin Xiaopan and Xiao Ruteng leading it at the moment, narrowly from Li Chi-kai, but I think Sun Wei is about to put his name back up there once his pommel score is in. It's a 9.75 only for Jong Ryong-il, DPR Korea. That's expected of it. Had some difficulties out on floor. It's the clean work from Sun Wei. He was good, wasn't he?
Yeah, beautiful work. He held his form throughout. You could see a lightness of the swing. You didn't feel like the second half of the routine was heavy work. You felt like he was well in control. Nicely moving through the handstand and the pirouettes through to the dismount.
.58.05 is the leading all-around total at the moment, held by his teammate Lin Xiaopan. Xiao is a full point behind that, 57.25, so he squeezes in between Lin and Xiao, making a 1-2-3 for China in the all-around at the moment. Early days. China the leading country as well. All this is going according to plan and according to predictions, really. China with quite clearly the strongest team here. It's just whether they deliver on the day. And so far, they're delivering. Team's ready to move on to next apparatus. Chinese Taipei sitting in second position behind Republic of China.
Of course, for the all-around, it is maximum of 2 per country. So even if in this round we see China finish 1, 2, 3, the third gymnast won't count in the results.
Right, so he can't medal. Yeah.
No, that's right. I'm just checking the technical regulations
yes,
there.
Because it is different, isn't it? Normally we have a second go at the all-around because it's its own discrete final, and a limit of 2 per country go through to that final. DPR Korea sitting 4th in the team standings.
Yes, I was just checking the technical regulations there to see.
Yeah, a good pickup, Liz. That's going to be tough on perhaps the likes of Xiao Ruteng, who gets the 3rd highest total but doesn't get a medal, should it pan out that way. But we've still, of course, got the very strong Japanese athletes to watch and enjoy.
Still waiting for that score, I think, are we?
Now, Sun Wei's score came in.
Oh, yes, 15 points, I think it was, so... Business end of this all-around competition. Qualifications for the team final and the apparatus finals.
Inquiry submitted, I see. So 13-2. I don't know if that moved him or not. He's still sitting there between Lin and Xiao.
It just says submitted, so
I
don't know if they've changed the score. He had a 8 execution and a 5-2 difficulty. They can only inquire on the difficulty score, so it'd be interesting to see what happens there.
Zhu Jingyuan from earlier in that pommel session for China.
Now he's just a delight to look at. He's very, very light in his movements, beautiful swing. Rhythm is so nice to watch. the legs going right to vertical on each of those scissor movements, amplitude, every single element here. Forward and backward travels. Flares the dismount out.
And Zhu Jingyuan, a 15 even on pommels. So the athletes have moved around to their next apparatus. Team standings find China ahead of Chinese Taipei and the Republic of Korea. Then there is a big gap back to DPR Korea and then Thailand.
History in the making here for those to finish ahead. I said only 3 countries have medalled in the team event before, so see changing of the guard here.
Score of Zhang taken from China has been changed. Score is now 13-9. That was the score of Mongols.
Of course, they're only just working towards the qualification to the team final, but it will be an indication of what they're capable of.
We have Mongolia. On pole horse with the Democratic People of Korea.
So watching Zhu Jingyuan both on P-bars and pommels, the lightness that you talk about, some of it seems to me to be his build, because from the waist down he's quite light, and it's not like he's pushing a lot of weight around the pommels or P-bars, because he's not as
yes, he
bulky
does.
as some.
Yeah, he totally has the perfect build for it. You know, he's slim through the hips as well. Did you see a change of score there?
So, Xiao
still at 14.45, showing up on the scoring for pommel horse. We'll see if there's been Japan is still he's at the top of the scores now, 14.45 for pommel. I don't think that's changed.
I'm just not sure now whether it was Xiao or some
Or Lin Japan
who had the appeal. Fifth rotation of 6. And it'll find the favourites China on rings. And Chinese Taipei at the high bar. Vault. Republic of Korea, that's where we're perhaps heading first with Lee Chun-ho. Stands ready at the top of the runway. Kim Han-sol will do 2 vaults, but not Lee, just this one. And he sets off.
Good run. Pretty solid vault.
Deng Shu Di of China rings routine for him.
'18 Olympian. Beautiful position on that cross. It's not the most difficult of the strength elements, but it certainly is the most recognisable. Clean swing up to the planche position, textbook positions showing. There he shows the double stretch. Very few of the gymnasts can manage in a straight position. Good variety. Good height. And he needs it for that double twist.
So Deng Shudi, part of the Chinese team that picked up the bronze medal in Rio.
Haven't seen him on the international scene for a little while.
Performing on vault right now.
13-4 there for Lee Jun-ho with his first vault, or his only vault, correction.
He's very crisp with his strength. He's into his strength positions without any modifications or adjustments. And here we go, the double straight. Very, very hard to do.
Only one vault for him, which means he already tries to qualify for the
And watch the height.
Deng Shudi, when he's away from the gym training hall, plays a bit of billiards and football. Can't be gym training every day, all day.
No,
Get
it's
nuts,
out
wouldn't
there.
they? Need to do something else. They've all got hobbies, other interests.
The score on rings so far today is a 14.65. While we're waiting for that score, we'll move over to vault.
Kim Han-sul, 2 vaults nominated, so he's looking for the vault final if he can make it.
Definitely his best apparatus.
Well, nearly headbutted the vault on the way back.
Well, it's a 2.5 twist.
Doesn't look too worried about it.
No. Handspring entry and wrapping 2.5 twists. Knees low, but the twist is completed well. You can see he pops it up nicely. He's maybe outside. Props it on the front of the horse to get maximum change of direction as he converts from horizontal to vertical power.
That's the trick, isn't it? Maybe he took a little bit much out of the horizontal because there wasn't a lot in the post flight.
Oh, that's a good score. 14-7, best.
Deng Shudi on rings for China. Keeping them on track to comfortably make the team final. And he'll be looking to make the rings final himself. Kim Han-sul, 3rd in the vault final at the World Championships in Montreal last year, so it would be a shock if he didn't make the final.
He's got a little bit of margin for error, I suppose, because it does have a higher difficulty value, so that's that weighing up between difficulty and execution, and sometimes you'll make ground in one to lose it in the other. For 5.2 difficulty in this second vault.
Well, only 2 exercises on 4.
Aiming for this 2.5 twist.
Oh, that's better. He's landed it right in the middle, and good carry from the vault as well.
Well, nominated a 1.5, 2.5 twist. I don't know if he did that. That's normally a 5-2. Wrong there. 2.75 is the vault. Has him up to 1.5.
Anyway, was a mixed grip start for Lee, Chinese Taipei on high bar. Go across and watch this very good gymnast. what is often the crowd's favourite apparatus.
Oh, beautiful height over the bar, and just takes it a little bit too far. It was looking beautiful. Just thinking how it was floating so high.
He looked so good until he fell. No, but he was right there, wasn't he? He had it.
Yeah,
he had it.
It looked like it to us.
Yeah.
Must have just caught it at the wrong angle.
Chikai, that's unlucky.
Resuming the routine after that mistake. In the straddle position, he's got great technique on these catches. Big body for high bar. Hands down on the dismount, so 2 falls for that routine.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate because he'd been looking so impressive through the first 2/3 of the competition, and then be asking himself, what went wrong there, especially with that first catch that wasn't. Back to rings.
Wasn't, yes, definitely.
Xiao Ruteng, third up for China on rings.
Straight through to a planche, dropping to a Maltese position. Backward roll through to cross. Picked up a bit of extra swing here, unwanted swing. Double tuck to finish, but he looked unsteady in the last third of that routine.
Pulled it together nicely for the dismount, but the judges weren't too kindly on the swinging of the rings backwards and forwards. The athletes have techniques for stopping that as they go into the next tumble, but 13.9 on the second vault.
Tell whether they gave him the full value for that. I've got a funny feeling they might not have.
And Li Chikai, just an 11.3 on high bar. That hurts the team effort. And gone is any chance of him making the high bar final.
Here's the Jonasson through to a cross. This time the Yamawaki through to the cross. Both of those are done well. And just the second half of the routine loses control, which is probably a bit uncharacteristic for him. And 2 twists and 2 saltos later, concludes the routine.
So Xiao Ruteng, a 14.2 on rings. Second at the moment in the all-around behind his teammate Lin Xiaopan and Sun Wei. Last up for China on this apparatus. He's been in the top 3 so far in the all-around competition, and he maintained the standard.
Oh, clean. Beautiful positions. Jonasson through, so the Yamawaki through to his Maltese cross position. Very hard to do the strength out of the swing like that, but he's just making a great job of it. There.
Sun Wei, another good job for China. Keep them on track to cruise into the team final and keep China amongst the medals in the all-around consideration. So they've brought a quality team here and delivering quality performances right through the first 5 rotations.
We see the Yamawaki and floats up into the planche. And double tucked. A small movement sideways. Not such a large deduction for that.
One more exercise in this 5th rotation.
The Chinese all-arounders are fighting for the right to be included in the results. There are only 2 from each country can feature in the all-around results, and they look like they have 3 people doing the all-around at this stage, so it's a real battle between them to make sure that they are ahead of their teammates, notwithstanding any other countries that might come through with top all-arounders, such as Japan.
$14.5 for Sun Wei, and he is moving up to 3rd in the all-around.
Well, they're very close. 72.2 for Lin Chapan. Sharatang 71.9, so it's 0.3 behind, and Sun Wei 71.75.
It's not too close in the team competition. China well clear of their rivals. Republic of Korea have moved into 2nd place. Nice move from them. So if they can keep it together in the final rotation, which is upcoming, find themselves in the team final. Chinese Taipei have slipped to 3rd after not doing so well on high bar.
And of course we would expect the Republic of Korea to come up. They've gone on to vault and they're experts on that apparatus, and it is a high scoring apparatus. So it will be exciting to see this last rotation. Only 8 teams to be featuring in the team final in a couple of days' time.
Just wait for some final scores to come in before they make their last move to their 6th apparatus. Not much of a break up between sessions. The next teams will be in. Scheduled to be at 3:30 local time, which is only 45 minutes away, so the judges and other staff around the place and people like us, it'll just move swiftly on, Liz.
It will. It's a long day through all of the gymnasts.
And our hard-working crew.
Gentlemen, please proceed to your final apparatus.
75 male gymnasts competing today, there or thereabouts.
So it is the Republic of China by almost 16 points now. And between Republic of Korea and Chinese Taipei, well, just a point and a bit. So very close between those two, and every 10th will count. They're trying to get their team into the final, and all-around standings Lin Xiao and Sun of China and Kim Han-sol of Republic of Korea.
I think the scoring on parallel bars and floors is a little quite similar. So it'll be neck and neck between these two teams to see how they go through to qualify.
Chinese Taipei on floor. Pommels, that's our little mixed group of Ansel Suk and Pak from Mongolia and Kyrgyzstan, respectively. Democratic People's Republic of Korea will take care of the rings.
With China on vault, we can expect them to even stretch their lead further, it being the highest scoring apparatus generally.
None of those gymnasts, though, are nominating 2 vaults, Liz, which is interesting.
It is very interesting that they're all just going all out for the team in the all-around.
P-bars, it's Republic of Korea. And that leaves the high bar for Thailand. Japan has been such a powerhouse of men's gymnastics the last few years. I'm just thinking ahead to 2 years, they'll really perhaps tap into the local support with Tokyo looming.
Well, yes, they have been virtually unbeatable, my guess is. They've got their, apparently they've sent their second team here. Their full main team preparing for World Championships is at home, of course. As you said, it being a home Olympic Games, they don't want to leave anything to chance. They don't want any of their star performers hurting themselves with not enough time to recover in between. So I think that's why we'll see them protecting their athletes at all costs.
Lin Xiaopan gets the green light to start this 6th and final rotation for our first subdivision, and he's at the top of the vault runway. It's a picture of confidence and readiness.
Oh, beautifully done. Wow.
Popped that up nicely. Good amplitude, good height. Punch of the fist there.
It's a triple twist. Hard to believe a triple twist only attracts a. There's 1, 2, and wraps the 3rd twist just before the landing. Just a 5.6, 1, 2, 3 twists. Legs a little bit crossed, forgiven a little bit because it's triple twist.
He thinks it's all right, and of course his work is finished. There's always that to add into the relief and the pleasure.
Nice his posture tells us he's pretty happy about that.
I'm done, at least for the moment.
Yeah, that was a lovely vault.
86.75 is his all-round total.
8.95 executions, pretty good score there.
Xiao Ruteng.
He's also going for a triple twist here. Pops it up very high. Oh, opens out early. Looks like he had it in the bag. And just misjudged the landing. I think, is that the first fall we've seen from any of the Chinese gymnasts?
I think so.
It looked very high. Maybe we'll get to see it in replay a little later, but
You saw problems on pommels, but not a fall. Lee Hyuk-jung now on P-bars, Republic of Korea.
So again, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we will celebrate or decorate the first athletes of these Asian Games when it comes to
the
gymnastics.
handstand, the underbar element.
The men's
Climates.
all-around winners.
Front sunny to upper arm straddle position. Watching to see if they have complete control in every handstand. The elements done sideways, not so popular these days, but it's still nice to see a little bit of a variety, and concluding with a pretty well controlled double pike. It looks like a little rough landing on that front semi-straddle. Easy on the arms.
13.65 for Xiao. 0.1 penalty.
Well, might cost him a chance to be in the all-around medals.
Deng Shudi, not a contender for all-around. He'll be followed by Sun Wei, who certainly is. But Deng is using all of the available runway.
So going for a triple twist here. Gets it around well, off to one side. Looks off a little bit gingerly there.
Very hard to keep the vault on alignment with this many twists, Lisa.
Yes, well, if we're lucky enough to see an end-on shot, which we are here, you'll see that they need to get their legs right over the top at the beginning. He looks straight, but the twist doesn't get all the way around and it takes him off to one side. Didn't have as much height as Zhao, but Zhao just opened out early. I think he was just so high that he thought he'd...
13.55 there for Lee of Republic of Korea. So we still have Lin Xiaopan in a leading position for all-around honours, but with 2 more sessions to come, of course. Even when we conclude this rotation, we're still only a third of the way through the competition. So the first 2 days are always big days at these international gymnastics events, as everyone goes through the qualifying process.
Well, interestingly, I can't see another Chinese gymnast coming up to vault. I thought Sun Wei was going to vault, and I don't see anybody coming up. Deng Shudi 14.4 there, but it doesn't seem to be anyone on the runway ready to go. So as a team, they're all right. They've got all their scores in.
Sun was, he was scheduled to vault, wasn't he?
Yes, it looks like he was, but maybe he's just not going in. We can't see him anywhere just at the moment.
No.
They've got their team score. They'll be happy with that. They probably could have even done without the extra vaulter and they would still be ahead. And such is their lead.
But Sun was in contention for all-around. So
well, we thought so, and he was actually listed to vault. Zhu was the one who was not going to vault, but...
Very interesting.
Well, we'll move on over to high bar instead.
And on high bar, it's Natapong Aidwang.
Opening with a nice stretched Kachev. We're seeing many of the gymnasts do similar moves, just the different leg positions differentiating one from another. So he's had 3 of the same move. Kachev struggles to get it over the top of the bar, so will be deducted for using strength in that instance.
Comes up smiling, which is always nice to see. Natapong Aidwang, a 20-year-old from Thailand, has finished his work.
It's interesting to see their demeanour change as the competition goes. The last apparatus, and they're all relaxed, of course. A great relief to get it over with. There's a stretched Kachev. A little bit of bent arms in his swing sometimes. There's the straddle without quite enough swing to bring it over the bar smoothly.
I think a recent change in some of these releases, Liz, is that they're catching and releasing from more complicated grips.
Yes.
They're less conventional. Just keep packing the difficulty in. Surely one day it'll be impossible.
Well, it feels like an impossible now, but there's so much innovation in this sport and it never stops progressing. Harder on the gymnasts, seemingly impossible, and then they rise to the occasion.
And an 11-3 there for Natapong Aidwang of Thailand. They still have Jamon Promeny on high bar to go.
Starts with a little vault over the bar, legs together, the Yamwaki. We're waiting for the results here.
He's just watching his teammate now. That China is the story, really. That so Sun Wei has had got a DNF next to his name now for not completing the all-around aspect of the competition, but has certainly made his contribution to making sure the team progresses to the team final. That was almost a given.
Hopefully he hasn't hurt himself.
Well, yes, yeah.
Didn't notice anything going on.
Doesn't look to be too much consternation in the camp. But
Might have just been a precaution. They've got enough gymnasts to cover the all-around title anyway. Maybe they thought he wasn't going to even score as much as the others.
there was some kind of agreement between them that only Lin and Xiao would, would chase the medal, so because they can only get 2.
That's right.
But that's all just supposition on my behalf.
I
was going to say ours, but I said it, so I better own up to it.
I'll be with you on that one.
Working on P-bars, Republic of Korea. This last rotation going a little slower. Lee Chun-ho is last on P-bars for Republic of Korea. So let's see how he goes.
Front somersault from upper arm. Cleanly performed, good precision. Well in control of all of his handstand elements. Just a little bit forced in some of his elements, making it look a little bit like hard work, although there's no specific deduction for that, but not looking as light in his movements as he might.
A double step on landing there from Lee Chun-ho. Top 10 all around at a World Cup meet a couple of years ago in Glasgow. Chinese Taipei working on floor. Yu Chao-wei. Competed a couple of times at World Championships, 2015 and 17.
On the run, a 2.5 twist. And an attempt at a double front half out. Really hard skill to do. And it's half in, half out. So essentially a double back with a full twist. Right arm pressed to handstand, sufficiently low to the floor. We're not only looking for good landings in terms of not moving the feet, but we're also looking for gymnasts to be completing their somersaults early and preparing for the floor. 2.5 twist to conclude.
So Yu Chao-wei is last on floor for Chinese Taipei. So we're getting close to an end to the session. A couple of scores to come in. And the next teams are just half an hour away. So that'll be a quick turnaround for everyone. But for these athletes, it's all done for the day. Such a shame for Li Chi-kai, who had problems in Haiba. There's a 14-2 score in the Republic of Korea, Lee Jun-ho.
Good score for him. Interesting to see where the teams are going to finish up, providing they all get into the final. Sometimes it's just bragging rights whether they've finished ahead. Some problems there with his knee as he's landed this double front half out. Oh, so we're not seeing that skill. There's the 2.5. And here's the double front half out. Not enough height. Crunches that left knee. Can't be too serious as he's concluded the rest of the floor and seems to be able to move freely enough, but maybe just a tweak. And there's the 2.5 twist at the end of the routine.
Did miss 4 months in 2016 after surgery.
Looks quite troubled there, but it's hard to tell.
But out for a few months with surgery is no strange thing to elite gymnast, unfortunately. 11-8 for Yu Chao-wei.
Is he getting helped off there, is he?
Yeah, he is in some trouble. He's done his best for the team. quite likely to make the team final. Anyway, certainly China through with 261 plus. Republic of Korea 245.2. I won't call anything too early, but they might be good as well. We've got a number of teams still to compete, obviously. In the second and third subdivisions, Chinese Taipei 242.6. We'll see how that stacks up through the rest of the day. DPR Korea 223.35. A bit short on competitors in a couple of apparatus. Only sending up 3 for most. So they couldn't afford to drop too many performances.
China, the standout team from today's first subdivision of today's competition.
Lin Xiaopan, the current leader. And let's see if he is to get a gold medal around his neck through competition in the second and third subdivisions. And Xiao Rutang second at the moment. And Li Chikai, Chinese Taipei, potential bronze medalist. So the athletes leaving the arena here at JI Expo. Been a good first session, high quality competition, particularly provided by this great team from China. Good to see DPR Korea here, Republic of Korea, Thailand. And athletes as well from Mongolia and Kyrgyzstan. So it is China leading the team qualification standings. They'll certainly go through. But who of these others will? Republic of Korea and Chinese Taipei sitting second and third. Probably will, with 8 teams to make the final. Lin Xiaopan and Xiao Rutang lead the all-around standings from Li Chikai of Chinese Taipei, then Kim Han-sul and Lee Junho of Republic of Korea. Yu Chai-wei there for Chinese Taipei. The standings. Sun Wei not completing his vault, unfortunately, so he's out of the all-around contention. We've enjoyed this first session. 2 more subdivisions to come in men's artistic gymnastics on day 1 in Jakarta, 2018 Asian Games. Hope you've enjoyed the action of the first subdivision. In the second, we'll have Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Vietnam, Japan, and a couple of athletes in the mixed group from Singapore and Qatar. And if the standard continues, we're in for a great second session. We do hope you'll join us here at JI Expo as the 2018 Asian Games continue.
AIS Play ความบันเทิงระดับโลกทุกที่ทุกเวลา
ส่งต่อความมั่นใจสู้ไปด้วยกันนะครับ